sluggard flowers in surmises of her happy vanity that hath more thorns than thistles in math. And love I love that has more surprises than a beautiful girl who has written to her love proud verses charging across the page. She is smitten with rage and grief, curses trying to please God's crumpet. Fair princess, fair maiden, thou strumpet. The voice of the flowers. The voice of the flowers that knew many, likable to the slow crawling of the vivid ivied vines, just like the quiet varicose veins, quiet now for many centuries. The old chill of the cold rain of so many January winters. Flowers with their small voices cry out this year, as they have cried out years and years before. The cold sky carves an isthmus of blue, a dashing wide swath through, the colors of the flag wrapped around, the cold leaves of our evening. Christian Sonnet. In the year of crowded fame and cacophonous voices 2002, ending on its funny duo of joy and overwork, scant acclaim went riding out on sunny flames through slushy weather, fog and dew. Together on the street, Christian and Jew, riding together on their same differences. Her hair long, his too short, pitching together both wrong. She practical, he a snorting skinhead. Erect together the day long, a benighted couple. Day I turn from, the sky is gray. Days of dark-eyed Buddha. Quail and seagulls walk together around the gray clouded sky, afar off to westward Hawaii, afar off eastward to China. Cocky freighters, lonely tankers give rise to new areas of the anterior mind, wondering how some of these men keep their proud, lonely vigils to themselves. Their vision of slickers, oars, and dory boats speak proudly, talking of kimonos and martini-drinking mermaids and roaring tattoos of some World War II war bride. Yes. Hypnotic waves stand still today, as they did yesterday, as a couple, like the small couple on the top of a wedding cake. Across the lawn to evermore and yesterday, a quiet salute to the soothing vacuity of intending Christmas and roistering New Year, and give way to blustery windy January and the impenetrable gray sky that can last forever. I am searching for a metaphor to be alive in the dust of wintry snowfall.
Thank you, Owen. You gotta go there, buddy. Owen Dunkel. And now, as promised, the wonderful and caring and careful, the happy and good writer of Stephanie Manning coming up here to hold fourth or fifth as she sees fit. Give her a round of applause, please.
So has everyone seen the summer tanager that's visiting San Francisco? It's a bright red bird, and keep your eyes out. It never comes north of L.A.
What kind of bird?
Summer tanager. Oh, look it up. It's beautiful. Fort Mason. Okay, so anyway, here's two. Community garden, quite apart. Kind of goes around. Anyway, here we go. I shouldn't have given that information, but no, you should look around. You won't see me again. Okay, and when he came 4 months ago, he was yellow, and now he's kind of a rusty red.
Oh.
He's just going to emerge into this bright red breeding colors.
That's the male.
Yeah, the male. Okay, flamingo dreams. A huge flock, pink, fills the sky. They make their way and all land at once with grace on the beach of an island, where the student body president poses as Hillary Clinton and speaks. The flamingos nestle and watch with big llama eyes, and when she is done, a great roar of squawking and flapping, pink feathers everywhere, both boy bird and girl bird. Neither shuns the pink. I know. And this is called the Cinnamon Hitler, and that's what Trevor Noah calls you know who.
Oh, yeah.
Large, overweight man gives them what they want. What a showman! We lost the Vietnam War, the Iraq War, a waste of lives. Shame in the red states runs high. They look for a leader, tall and venomous, fueled by testosterone, who'll shoot first and never ask questions like them. A real Oscar Jonesy, pound your chest, Oscar. The meek shall inherit the earth. And who knows who Oscar Jonesy is here? Does everybody know?
I don't
who
know.
Oscar, you don't know who Oscar Jonesy is? He rules the roost at the gorilla exhibit in San Francisco Zoo.
Oh.
He's a big guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oscar Jonesy.
We didn't know.
Oh, he's wonderful. And this is the last one. It's called Native Warrior at Standing Rock. And this is dedicated to Luta Candelaria, a Rumsen Aloni who was arrested for fighting off the canine unit out there in North Dakota. These Indian guys and gals, their kids, their elders, their supporters, stand proudly and peacefully in defiance of the oil pipeline in North Dakota. 200 tribes represented, over 400 Indians dug in for the long haul. Largest native gathering since Custer. They speak for me, for us, for the land, for the earth, for sacred sites. And the oil company responds, no matter what you do, we will build the pipeline. The Indians say enough is enough. It contaminates the soil, waterways, and the children. And here's the question. Do we just sit by and watch Mother Earth become totally uninhabitable? Or do we do something, especially for the children and generations to come? Even after desecrating Native America, they are willing to do the work for us because we are stupefied by our own inventions and too dumb to realize when the house is on fire.
Oh, God. Nice. I like that. Stupefied. Stupid advisors. All right, that brings us to me. I'm just adjusting the technical difficulties that I have to do with here.
I bought a pair of supervisors last summer, and they served me very well.
All right.
That's what I say. So Stephanie touched on the theme, and I guess Karen's going to touch on the theme later, so I'm going to touch on the theme now. 100,000 Poets for Peace. It's a global event. And really, I was talking to my sister today, and I said, so where is all this peace everybody talks about in all the different religions and all the different philosophies? All this, I was like, where? Anyway.
Where is it? I know, we know that.
But anyway, so, no, I'm going to get here. So I'm going to do these 3 haiku, then actually 3 pieces, the 3 haiku, then this, then the other one, you'll see. All put together at the end. 3 haiku. First, these were written in 2012, before the big old hoo-ha about 2012. First one goes like this. This world's ending, not so much a concern as what comes next. Second haiku. Building another planet, just possibly easier than fixing this one. Third one is planetary recipe. Start with iron, bring to a boil, add ice as needed. This poem goes back to the 50th anniversary of the bombing at Hiroshima. Above ground zero, where those towers burned, gulls now fly, unconcerned. September twilight, our flag at its pole is not bestirred. Abu Ghraib, autopsy, crushed larynx, blunt object trauma, homicide. Golden anniversary. It hasn't always been styled prefab there. They've become our autochrome reflections, but Hiroshima still squirms within, beneath our fleshly body. It sips. It wasn't just the blaze of wind. Hiroshima kissed a mouth in the sky. No matter wherever, whenever we drink to it, it comes through, even with 50 years insulation. We reinforce the bombs being put high above the Joint Command, in bed with Teller, Strangelove et al. Still now, through every survivor's veins, its warm smoke and black rain courses, second by second. Hiroshima still waters their eyes. Think we're smug? Think we're snug? It is still sucking on us. It drinks to us, a parasite clutching onto our soul's mantle, and its silent roar echoes all the louder nowadays. Happy golden anniversary, my dear, and many, many returns. Okay. Thank you. Now this takes us to the Ukraine, and I was very upset. Anyway, here we go. How can the dead ever rest for what must prey upon them still, enticing them to remain connected, unable to let go of life, and so be drawn into our consciousness, while we focus on their death and they call and beg us invisibly? In Odessa, as their lips gibbered in blistering breath of prayer for life and resurrection, the strutting naked beast of war left them to their immolations, grunting incoherent, musty, guttural mouthings as they swaggered off, blue eyes peering, broad nostrils at the flare, scenting up more prey, stopping only to roar in violent rage, exposing its gory maw. There is no mistaking this crimson stain dribbling from its fat chin to sagging breast, as has the same old hunger and reeks of hate, and its heart harbors a cold will to murder. All while apparently clean hands are simply signing off on snow-white paper, hands no different from those we hold before our very own eyes, hands which, in their own way, whether by tax or tithe, go hand in hand with those of fat pundits demanding their pounds of flesh, who believe their colors don't run, whose quislings have unchained this gorgon, this kraken, which, given its head with every ka-ching at the checkout, is encouraged with our taxing, and this thing has been loosed. We hear it has fired up yet another human barbecue in Ukraine, and that the Odessa mob didn't clean up its mess but ran, leaving locals to cope with charred carcasses. What kind of men are these who can mob, rail, storm? What kind of crazy-eyed dreams are they made of? What tales do they tell their children? How do they, of all people, wear the Haken crews? What kind of women takes these neo-Nazis to bed? What kind would have them all except their own? But we would have them. McCain stood with them, Kerry too, and bureaucrats along with the IMF, NATO, and more. Bankers will have their feast. For this, they need the beast, which, unleashed, though least and indebted, is let to do its thing. no matter our holy book or theirs. Yea, verily, we have dispatched it, and this thing in our service has become ours. It's no real secret. Our rulers know it, theirs know it, and although they say it, we say it, and the dead certainly do say it, we all mean different things. When we say payback will be a bitch. Thank you.
Let me fumble one more time. All right, and if that's not enough, we have the Sanderel coming up, I do believe.
Oh, no.
Yes, we do. Don't say that over there.
Oh, no.
BB, I got a chair right here. Or we got places. Mumble, fumble, stumble, and grumble. That's the name of the seven dwarfs, I think, isn't that? Mumble, stumble, fumble, grumble, and crash.
Well, my read, of course, is going to be twofold. This weekend is a walk out of the darkness, I think it's called. It's about suicide. The reason I'm going is because one of the young veterans back in 2010, Native Filipino, committed suicide. I know the family, and I support them. And so I'm going to read one of those pieces. The pieces that I'm reading may not give you the answer to peace, but it's something for us to reflect upon as a possible way. And also my reading is to the people who are defending us against what's going on in the Dakotas. I'm really glad you did that. Winter's coming. Who knows how long the struggle's going to be. They need our support. Talk to your churches, whatever you're in. I would suggest contacting Native people, finding out what's needed. That's one way to help. If you've got the time, and maybe the huevos, to go and support them there. It's going to be a hardship, as I say, if it goes into winter. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. So this is called, I have two old ones, and if it's time, I'll do the other one.
All right.
They turned us into cowboys and Indians. Oops. There, that went away. Hold on.
If you're having trouble with your device.
Yeah, my device.
I write my poems on paper.
I use that too, so plus my mind. As a young man, I wanted to be and believed in Indians. Later, as that same young man, the Empire grafted me and turned me into a cowboy. I became a cowboy for their Christ and their true God money. When I look back in the mirror, I see an American killer killing for the Empire. We made war against the Indians because they had what all empires want, resources. America's wars have always been about cowboys and Indians. Ask the Indians with the blues who struggle for their own survival, testify with a strong flavor, the color of sadness. Their blood spilled on the soil of Turtle Island is the same as the soils of Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos for my generation, and later Afghanistan and Iraq, and all the other wars in between. Bullets to the heart, soul, and brain. Yet our war as a native people goes on today. In our current wars, our military still makes cowboys, but in this empire, its citizenry have become the Indian. The empire no longer needs you, and its only strong point is its military, so we become the world's killers. We sat and watched our children being maimed and killed, and so damaged they killed themselves rather than to live with the things they never thought they could or would do. I myself thought of it as an escape, but decided never to shut my mouth to the truth of these killings. There is a mother who reads her dead son's poems. They tell his truths. It's what he left behind after taking his life from the euphemism PTSD. One sees her pain and the hint of tears that will last her a lifetime, as well as his father's and brothers. As he identified with Native heritage, as well as his Filipinos, he tried to find ways to survive, but his pain was too great. He needed to know we needed him to be the warrior for the truths he held. Goodbye, sweet warrior. We will not forget. This piece is dedicated to the Santos family and their son, Reuben Chip Santos. So I want to read my new poem. I'm going to read this one instead. Again, based on the theme. Actually, the new one is too. Life goes on. You'll hear it next week. On to Vietnam. Lights out. They listened to Going Home by the Rolling Stones in a small phonograph player while on the South China Sea headed to Vietnam. He bought the phonograph in Hong Kong. He met some Indian tailors who offered to take him to the opium dens. Since he hadn't used drugs yet, he thought that that might not be a good place to get strung out. Eyes closed, letting the music take them, lyrics appropriate for where he wanted to be. Not home as to where he grew up, but wherever that might be. Music for a horny young male between teenager and adult. I wanted to go home. I wanted to get laid. As the ship's barber, he had the key that opened the small enclosed space. This was his sanctum against the obedience of small mind that he hoped he had left behind in the county of Mercer. He would put on Dylan, Baez, or both. His junior officer is Mr. Jones, and yes, indeed, he put on Dylan's Ballad of the Thin Man, singing, "'Cause something is happening in here and you don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones?" You know, he tells the barber, I think you don't like me very much. It is true. Trouble also comes for certain crew members when 6 of them question why they were there killing the Vietnamese. Their answers are none too subtle. Shut the fuck up. What are you, a commie? We get paid $125 a month for killing goots. Make them less than human makes it easier to kill. After Vietnam, he needed to speak of attitudes encountered and hatreds revealed. His writings filled with anger and disdain was unable to truly communicate. Tangled in language and mind became tangled in spirit. Damaged by the lack of mercy in war, love would elude much of his life. He first has to learn how to love himself after failing his first test in life. Never to kill because you can.
That is the Sanderell, a fixture in the San Francisco firmament of poets. Chris, would you like to come up at this point here, because that would make things more convenient for thousands of people in the waiting and wondering world beyond. Give Chris first a nice round of applause. Karen, you're gonna be coming up after him, just so you know, right here. All right, Chris, go.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being had. Sorry.
Being had.
I'm stopping now.
Shut up, Dan.
Finally.
Like your mother used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I feel better now. All right. Here we go. How can I fathom what love is if its essence seems to escape me every time? How can I touch a woman if my hands are made out of stone? How can I reach someone's soul if it's locked away behind a door of tears? How can I find the grain in the sand with my name on it? How can I experience unconditional love when I don't have the same for myself? How can I listen when my heart is deaf? How can I understand when I don't know the story? How can I grow when the box is too small? How can I make it better when I don't know the problem? How can I try when there is no hope? How can I give the world when there's once desires the universe? How can I be patient when I'm running out of time? How can I learn more when I already know not the history? How can I find you again when you are already gone? On a lighter note, something to giggle about.
Okay.
All right. So this is from my college days, I guess. Did you hear the whisper in the night? how it traveled through the trees. The voices were long gone 10 years later. It was nothing more than just a faint memory. An act played between the shadows. You could see the silhouette lit in the moonlight, yet when you came closer, there was nothing there. I remember running up the basement stairs, once only to hear the steps behind me. I locked the door quickly, but it pounded against the lock of the door. Students always told me stories how some woke up at night and could not move, like something was holding them down. Today, we call that sleep paralysis. In the past, it was called being scared shitless. It was always just one building where girls would repeat seeing a girl in a white dress. She died in the 80s, but I'm not sure anymore. I never seen her myself. Winters are cold in Wisconsin, so who knows if I saw a ghost, or if we say today, as we say today, got a polar vortex going on and gave me the chills. I do remember running through the tunnels under the ground connecting the buildings. That sure was freaky, with hot pipes, steaming air, and the occasional freshman completing their dare. The walls had graffitis on them. It sure is weird to think that some students in 1862 had the desire to paint the name on it, on a wall. Here was Little Bird. Not sure who he was, but maybe he started that trend. Well, it sure was an interesting time working as a security guard at night in a college in the middle of nowhere. Trying to obey rules, following the scent of women and alcohol at the same time. Well, that is another story.
Thank you. Christopher. All right, I have to advance upon the mic just one more time here. Actually, not just one more.
Well,
Do this for 16,153,855 times.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce this particular portion of the show. It's my favorite portion because I get to broadcast. I get to boast in public about a person who's looking at me, and I can make eye contact, and they go, "Oh no, he's going to mention that party with the pillow." No, I'm not going to mention the pillow party. All right. Karen Melander Magoon is noted in the Bay Area for many things. I know her, knew her first as a poet, and then I found out she has this whole musical history of operatic singing and composing and singer-songwritering, and the voice is determined. I believe determined in the sense that she would really like to see a difference in this world, and she's taking what she can do about that to another level. She's the host of another 100,000 Poets event. That's on Sunday. Saturday she has flyers. I'm going to be there. Other people will be there. Yes. You're going to be there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cara Sue will be there. So it'll be a fine and fantastic event.
And if you still want, I can change the flyer and change the program.
Okay.
But yes, 100,000 Poets for Change is supposed to be happening all over the place Saturday. And our little thing is at the Unitarian Universalist Church on Geary and Franklin.
Unitarian Church.
Deanna will be there.
Deanna?
Yep. And
Okay.
Dan and Sarah and a bunch of people. So.
Okay. So
I'm going to try to be there.
I'm going to try to be there. There you get that. Thank you so much. All right. So this Saturday, it will be a place to be, and now we will have Karen Melander Magoon come up here. And I want to make sure we got that. I'll have the flyers up here on the break. She is the person that they're talking about now. I don't know why I slipped into this accent, but I'm going to get down now.
There you go. I'm about to adjust the microphone.
I love all your accents. I always try to
That's because
place them.
Well, you can't place this one because it's a schizophrenic
I mean, I come from
pastiche.
Namur, somewhere. Like
Yes.
Namur. Okay, this, I'm only saying, actually, I wrote this last night, and I thought it was a little heavy, but because near the end, don't listen for it, because if you won't hear it until suddenly you get the word giggles, okay? But it's really very serious, right? You can, yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should raise this bit.
Raise it and direct it to your.
Yeah. Is that better? A little bit?
Point it down a little bit.
Yeah, point it. Yeah, good.
Hello?
Ah.
Hello?
Oh, see now.
Maybe that works better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll get tired of all that.
I know. Then I eventually put it back.
We'll change it up.
Imbalance of power. Did we just recently become aware of an imbalance of power on our streets, our nation, our world? Did it begin with Rodney King or Oscar Grant? With the Civil War, with Selma? With Ferguson? Stand Your Ground in Florida? When did we look for compassion and find she was missing? Gone. Gone with Don't Ask, Don't Tell? With unceasing wars, military action where none is warranted, incessant regime change, drones contributing to our own immunity to violence at a distance. If we cannot see blood, cannot experience personal fear, can we be murderers? We live in an antiseptic world. We are protected from our own violence by the distance that breeds indifference, perhaps contempt of the other one who is subject to our killing machines, whose children scan the skies with dread, fearing death from above. The other, the one on the other side of the world, or even the other side of the city, or the other side of the block, is vulnerable to the disease of our time, the disease of power without side effects, without fear of retaliation. A police officer shoots first to protect himself against a citizen who might be armed, might take his hands down, might find a knife or gun on his belt if his arms start to kind of fall when he's tired. She or he is not the vulnerable party. The one she or he has vowed to protect is prey to the police officer. What irony. Reinforcing that imbalance. The imbalance echoes again in hegemonic wars perpetuated by our government. A child's laughter is more valuable than any weapon ever created or imagined. Her laughter is the water of life, his giggles the ripple of imagination and joy. A child's smile is the reward of peace.
Nice. Okay, snap
It
in.
may take this better. Microphones are massive. Anyway.
Why don't you let me hold your papers and that way I can...
No, it's okay.
All right.
Okay. I have a little,
All right.
I would give, it's like I can only cook by myself too in the kitchen.
Darn it.
Okay. 3 in the morning. This was this morning. Okay. 3 in the morning. I wonder why I wake so early. Is it to write poetry? What should I say? What should I say about the world? Why are Kurds being bombed and their determination to survive compared to natives in Sri Lanka? Why must children starve in Yemen after 2 and more years of war? Why must we fight each other? Why cannot there be one state in Palestine, not 2 or 3 or 100, where all are welcome but not exclusive, where Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Jews, atheists, agnostics, all ethnicities, religions, and races can be welcomed in one Palestinian state, whose Arabic Semitic roots have plunged down through the centuries and allowed gardens to flourish and people to thrive. Why cannot there be one state in Palestine with no walls, no guns, no bombs, no need for shelters, equal access to water, the right to cultivate one's fields, live in one's home, go to school, play on the beach, ride the buses freely without fear of prison, bombardment, bombs, death, without fear for one's children, one's home, one's land, one's country, without fear? Why cannot there be one Palestine, one democratic Palestine whose Congress of democratically elected representatives determines its destiny? And why cannot there be a beautiful, peaceful Syria, as it once was, now rubble, the aftermath and quagmire of incessant war, where children work in Turkish shoe factories to support their families, or become part of the stream of refugees? Mali, Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea, children treading all too well-worn paths from burning homes to refugee camps. Why must there be the violence of post-colonialism in Latin America, continuously fomented by students of the SOA, chaos of the CIA, would-be puppets of regime change? Why do I wake at 3 in the morning to write poetry, as if the world were not its own poem, a constantly reflecting mirror of its own agony and beauty, alive, incessant, holy? Why do I wake to write? Because I must bear witness to that holiness, that ragged, porous wholeness and holiness of our one world, fraught by climate change, pollution, fracking, civil war, greed, corruption, savagery, violence, and caught by surprise in the streaming glory of its own sunrise of exquisite beauty, its own sunrise of transforming hope, its own sunrise of poetry.
Nice. Just give it to me and I'll hold it for you. Okay.
I was at the Petaluma walk on
Poetry
Sunday.
walk,
I don't know. Was anybody else there? The Petaluma walk? That was fun. There we go. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I was trying different. Thank you, Claire. Anyway, and I decided to talk about, because this was, and before that, okay, I was in Petaluma. Before that, I was at the Corette, and that was for the Poets 11. And I decided to talk about my own teeny little area, because it was, it was the different districts. And this is sort of what I look out of my own window. And when maybe it was a year or so ago, there were these people taking pictures of the cedar trees not too far. And I don't know if you realize we have incredible cedar trees in San Francisco, some of them 3,000 years old. And I said, what are you doing taking pictures? And they said, oh, we go all around the world taking picture of the most ancient and venerable cedar trees because we make bonsai when we go back to France. So I just love this city. There's so many wonderful souls wandering around. This is Impressions near Chestnut and Mason Street, San Francisco. Cedar, shadows, and the moon. Cedar, cedrus, source of perfume, incense burned with myrtle by Noah after the flood. Cedar groves, dwelling places of the gods, of ancient Sumerians, instruments, sarcophagi, resilient, moth-resistant for trunks and homes of cedar. Cedar thrives in Lebanon and Syria and Turkey with cones that hang a year before growing wings become seeds that may fly far, far away. Its brothers in the Himalayas, deodar cedar, grow as high as 250 feet. Cedar, cedrus, graces ancient civilizations with beauty. Thousands of years, eons of cedar, some of its oldest children have their home in San Francisco, on Mason Street, where I live too. Where through my window across the street from the cedar trees, a moving shadow blends into a green carpet as we ourselves move as shadows into sun. Shadows are our wisdom and our questions. They slide inside our understanding, invading sleep and sorrow, fading into dreams. Dreams of the moon sliding right through White Tower, over the cedars and the shadows like a quarter inserted in a child's bank. I'd like to pick up White Tower and rattle it to make sure the moon is still inside. I just have look for flyers. Thank you very much. This is some mundane comments on mundane objects like chairs. Chairs seem almost human. 4 legs, a back, sometimes arms, often scars and scratches, all too human in the fragile face they offer the world, too human in their vulnerability. Even the word chair sounds vulnerable, timid, lost without a table or perhaps another chair, lost in the middle of a room, waiting for its fragile human equivalent to sit. I'm always waking up early. Oh, this is another I wake up early. Okay. I wake up early, the night's still deep. The early skateboarder on the street before the cars take possession. A flicker on the horizon, not a star. A reflected light from someone else's window. A street light glares below. Garbage trucks begin their routine, listening to the sounds. I escape my own thoughts of what I could have done better many years ago. That's what happens when you wake up early. A bay day. I do lots of day days too. Okay. A seagull cries above the sea lion's bark and flies upon the breeze's palm. A stretching giant greeting with her open hand a day upon the bay, a day of calm. where even clouds forget to race across the sky, where seagulls cry and tourists stroll, take photographs, check maps, walk softly with their coffee. Even bicyclists decide to stop and gaze upon the bay where they may listen to the bark of seals, the squawk of gulls, and check an iPad, just a tad, regretfully. A tiny girl with ribboned hat hugs crumpled news beneath her arms, smiles broadly as she grabs her mother's hand and tries to stop as ribbons flop and papers drop. Walk into joy. Is it blue or gold, white, black? Black joy like obsidian, opaque, deep, mysterious, profound, aching, liquid black water like the sea at night, moving towards a yielding shore of joy. Listen to the sounds of joy, tides plying, splaying, salt froth, root beer float tides, joyful imaginings, foam wet toes feel the feel of joy, the soft of wet, the knot of first met, flesh moist, sweet, soft, supple, walk into the wind of joy, feel the wind, hear the wind, see the zephyrs blowing, knowing joy, touch the taste of joy.
Nice.
Thank you. This is, if you've ever been on the beach, you see all these different little birds, you know, their little paws, their little, but, you know. And this, there's this one bird, and I don't know which ones, but he leaves, or she leaves, or anyway, a sign that looks like peace, the peace sign. So I just got a kick out of that.
Oh, that's a grebe will do that, I think.
I thought it's an egret. I said it was an egret, but I wasn't sure later if I got that right. Okay.
All right, well, we'll see.
Signs of peace upon the beach. She was 2, maybe less, blue, a dress, walking firmly on the shore, baby boy in tow, red wagon, boy, a spade and bucket left behind, spilling sands. An egret followed, curiously, behind the two, behind the ride, white feathers, busy beak, a sign of peace left with each stride.
Nice. Yeah, they do that.
Thank you. And this was part because tonight coming here, I was going west and going down the hill. It's like I'm just totally blinded. How many of you have? There are some moments in San Francisco where the sun is so blinding you just think, oh, I shouldn't be driving at all. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sun at twilight on the highway. The sun, and I'm saying the sun, you know, she has her object here. The sun is unrelenting on the twilight highway, puffed up large and glowing, blinding all who travel westward, screaming at the unremitting stream of steel and fumes, asking only that we disappear. Fold up our highways, roll them into sand and dunes, again revere the glowing goddess, that she might slide peacefully into the night.
Yeah.
Cloud, cyber cloud. We got some techies around here, okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you were white and soft, disintegrating in sunlight, becoming heavy and dark as storms gather? Do you ever wish you were something other than virtual? On hold. Waiting, I wait. I am on hold. Hold. Hold the phone. An antiquated device must hold. No voice will tell me, hello, may I help you? Unless the phone is on my ear so I can hear what? An automated voice. Or perhaps the gentle syllables of a lady from Manila. Or a gentleman from Bangalore. New Delhi? Mumbai? On hold. Again. Waiting. Okay, here's a somewhat more heavy one. This is from Somalia. I get into this. I wish there was something I could do besides just write about these things. But this is, I love looking at some of the history of and their stories. and I had a lot of fun finding these stories in Mali. They're wonderful stories, but this is Somalia, and if you know the Horn of Africa, you may feel some of what I'm talking about, and you may be familiar with some of these stories and metaphors. Somalia, balanced on a rope of love, Cushitic walk, a cow who turned away, bringing disaster, the rope of love between two horns, eternal walk, must be restored. Arowello, queen who, like the Greeks, bade her women bind themselves, refuse themselves to men until war might cease. She who was the female horn of God and still a mortal queen would restore balance, dancing on a rope of love for peace. The first Homo sapiens came from Somalia, where agriculture was sustainable. People thrived, wrote poetry, and danced until the imperialist dragons broke their instruments, imposed servitude, indebtedness, trampled on their beauty, took their land and their harvests, so that they might starve. Genocide by International Monetary Fund, which took all they had given the world: science, art, language, government, gender equality, returning these gifts with disease, starvation. Somalia, fecund, rich in beauty, in land, poetry, and people, cowers under the fiery breath of the imperialist dragon, cowers under the whip of its greedy rider, corporate robot, riding the dragon of imperialism to a world of dust. Somalia, balanced on a rope of love, swing wide, return to grace, return to the garden of Arwello, force the dragon back into its cave, look again with love upon the bull that waits for eternal walk, eternal harmony. Somalia. My goodness. Well, I'll do a quick one about City Hall. City Hall, built like a cathedral to impress the people. 50 people standing on each other's shoulders might reach the dome. What if City Hall were built more like a garden, where dandelions would need to pile up 50 dandelions tall to reach a person's shoulder? And I think our City Hall is pretty neat. Got a moth.
It has entered our domain.
The moth. Okay, I'll read this, and then if there's time, I'll do a tiny song. Fog wraps the bay. Fog wraps the bay horizon in gray and white. Ribbons slide in gentle flutter over cormorants standing guard at Alcatraz. Pelicans decorate ribboned fog in trios. A solitary feather floats across blue curtains. Pigeons coo amorously. Seagulls shimmy in the wind, ignoring human admiration and photography. Yesterday, 10,000 years, island, fog, and feather dissolve in mist. Pigeons coo a throbbing melody, syncopated only by the passing gull fishing at the Golden Gate. Downward spiraling, plunging into present, past, and eons backward, forward spinning. Pigeons coo, renew, wrapped up in gray and white. Foggy flying ribbons stamped with yesterdays. Floating tomorrows of baying wetness, dissolved in fog. I'll do a tiny song that's just kind of fun because we had, I love moon songs because we have beautiful moons in San Francisco, and last weekend I just never seen such an incredible moon going down the Embarcadero. It was so big, and then I got home and I said, I need to look at it again, and I saw it right next to Quake Tower. It's just an amazing moon. I don't know why it was so amazing. Harvest moon, something to do with September, I don't know.
It may be because it's the only thing in the sky you can see.
No, it was called a supermoon.
It was something really extraordinary. I could tell it, but I didn't know its name. It was all for me.
I thought it was named John or Phil.
John or Phil, a supermoon. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, the lady is in the moon, crocheting all the stars. Her velvet
threads cascade beyond the gardens of Mars. When Venus in the dawn and darkness turns to blue, the moon gathers up her threads, the stars turn to dew. A melody greets the morning, a breeze becomes day. A promise is golden when April greets May. A promise is golden when April greets May.
Wow. Miracle hit the groove. I'm telling you. Let me get out this way really quickly. Whoops. All right. Give her another round of applause.
So we're going to take a break in a moment, but I want to let you know about the second half. Just listen to these names. We got Al Nightingale, Wendy, Hal Robbins, Bob, Mahita, Greg Pond, the Clyde Always Show, Garrett Murphy, Yasmin Mogul. We got a newbie, Marvin Glass, Clara Sue, another newbie, Anita, Tim P. Purcell. Okay. Yeah, I know what. I'm not done yet. We got Marco Harps and Gia. I wasn't done with the list. So we got a heck of a second half, and then next week, just in case you want to know, Eileen Malone, a solid, huge voice. 10th on the 5th of October, Gary Turchin. The 12th of October, Jennifer Baron. And then after that, we have Natasha Dennerstein, a really great voice on the 19th. So we got things coming up. Have a nice break. This thing will be disabled so that your conversations shall remain private.
Smoke him if you got. No, no, no. Yeah.